Hi, everybody. We're ready to go now with your five-dimensional energy, your 5D energy. It's time to take a look at your energy new. After what we just spoke about on fifth dimensional attributes, you can imagine you really need to take a look. You need to inspect what's going on with your own energy. It could be different. And I'm going to give you a couple of little tales about that here in a second, some of the new options that are available. There can be obviously a recalibration needed. So, in your meditations, be open to some unusual things coming to you. I know when this happened to Mike, he found himself in a meditation in a control room that he had kind of constructed, had the urge to do that, and suddenly they handed him a ball of light. This was from guides saying, okay, here, this is your light drive. You just need to put it right here. And there was a whole, imagine like complexity like an aircraft or a rocket ship, and all the complex computers and different dials and knobs and switches. And there was a spot for him to install his new light drive, and they did a new operating system. We're going to talk a little more about that in a second, but it can come in some form that your guides give you the information to help you. So there's a very individual standpoint to this. You don't necessarily have the same thing happen as the rest of us. That's why we have to do this individually. It's very, very precise, especially just the term recalibrate. There may be something specific in your system that needs a little repair, or it tells you what areas to work on, and it lets you know what is different. Because when you get to fifth dimension, the 5D brings new options to you. The energy does different things. The energy may feel different. I noticed a difference with my own. And so some of the areas to look at would be your aura, and I've got more to talk about the egg, your chakra system, in the complete energy system, as well as how you connect to your guides, new ways, new processes. This is why you need to be on the spiritual internet. Let your GPS, your soul GPS, lead you into what you need to know. Now, the egg that I'm referring to here is the common description. I know Karis brought it up a year or two ago, last year at Seven Oaks, of viewing your aura as an egg of energy around you. And most people have historically viewed this as an egg with a boundary that you clean up and strengthen or whatever. It's got like a defined shape. And it happened at that time that I had never really looked at mine in a sense, and I didn't. I remember I was sitting and talking with Karis and said, "But mine doesn't look that way." I was so astonished. Turns out mine looks more like seaweed or something. It has a whole different feeling on the outer edge. Of course, I had the thought of someone sort of attacking it and thought how funny that would be. The seaweed wouldn't work at all. So I know one other person told me, I started asking people, what does yours look like? Do you have the egg? And I was told that one person had one that was filigree so that the energy could move through. So just be aware. I don't know what all the options are. Just know that there's different options and try and figure out what that means for how your energy works. Now, the chakras, I also had a new chakra system put in, which is one of the reasons I can manage. It was to handle a different grade and type of energy. That's why I can handle building the energy bubble for this session, because it was an interesting process. So there's things are all in a potential state of flux. There may be new stuff that if you have assumed that yours is like everyone else's, never assume that. It may not be that way. Um, Something else to do is to request downloads, because as you'll find in some of the Cryon information, if you heard that already, you have to ask for it. It's not forced on you. It's a free will place. So if you want some upgrades or a new operating system, uh, there are other, I don't even know all the upgrades available. I know that one of the things both Mike and I got was you need a new operating system. And it makes sense that with the whole different kind of energy running it, that you might need that. So the point here is there's not a lot I can give you other than to turn your attention and focus to this and let you find out what you have going on within your own energy. Um, if you are an energy worker, you you may have already seen some things, but that led you to think something's different. I know for me, the energy itself started feeling that I processed started feeling more like quicker, thinner. In the past, energy when I would manipulate it with my out the palms of my hands or something, always it seemed more like honey, kind of a thick, viscous. It kind of trailed behind. If you've watched auras, someone moving their hand, it will kind of float behind them like a trailing effect. Doesn't move real quickly. I started finding that the energy that I could process was much thinner and it was sparklier. It looked like multicolored glitter in it, where the other energy had sort of a glow, a golden glow, kind of a white gold, but moved like sparkly honey. But the new energy feels completely more liquid, more watery, and it moves faster. So you just have to look and see what you've got going on, because I think there's a wide range of possibility for us now, and I'm actually interested to hear anybody come up with something interesting. I'd be real curious to hear about it. Finally, I'll leave you with this. They tell me over and over, remember, 5D is more home than 3D. Remember this, remember this. This is something that you are going to feel more comfortable with the new stuff than the old. And so if you're expecting that new, unusual feeling, I know I had this with a new chakra. I kept thinking, well, this doesn't feel new. It feels better. And so it's kind of like taking off a pair of shoes that were too tight and putting on something that fits better. It's easier, unless I think there may be situations where it's not easier. I don't know what that is. It was easier for me. But it's comfortable if you don't fight it. I'm sure of that. Resistance is the enemy. If you assume anything, just assume that it will be better, more comfortable, and it will feel less like a change as a going back to something familiar, if that makes sense. Okay, we're going to move on. Next up, see where this leads you. Go home, do a little meditation, ask your guides to show you. I don't know, you'll get images. You may have new processes to do to put things to use. I don't know. It's an individual response on this situation. And get to know and remap your energy system. It will be very interesting to see what the results are. Thanks. See you later.